Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're recording, Karini.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah.
Actually, we are recording. And everybody, welcome to Instant Gratification. This is episode something. We're not keeping track anymore because there's no point in keeping track. Oh my God, I have to turn off my shit. This is my first Zoom podcast, and I have a very special guest with me. She's one of my best friends in the whole wide world. Went to college together, roommates, friends for life.
I think you also forgot to mention best guest on the podcast.
So she's already calling herself the best guest, and I think that's super narcissistic, and we're going to talk about that. I'm kidding. Karini, introduce yourself. Where are you? What's happening?
Let's see. Right now, I'm in my study. I'm hanging out. I'm having a drink. Is that what you wanted? Was that?
Can you tell me, geography-wise, where are you? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Are you guys listening to this already? This is not going to go well. She's like, well, my feelings and emotions. I'm like, I just asked you where you were. Like, where are you?
Told him in my study. No.
Okay.
So I'm Karini. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I grew up in New York City, but right now I live in Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay.
And I'm counting down the days until I leave.
We did visit Karini when I moved to LA. We, my boyfriend and I can say his name. I don't know why I was like, Corey.
Are you sure you guys are dating? I don't even know his name, Miriam.
No, I was like, should I hide his name? And I was like, no, he was on the podcast. I was like, it's fine.
It was, yeah. If I remember correctly, he talked about like
sex,
kinks and stuff, and like how he finds it weird if someone is like, yeah, squish my head or something with my foot.
I think it's crazy that you actually remember that, because I thought that was the most shocking part of the whole podcast. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck have you been with? Like, I thought that I was like kinky and like, ooh, fuck no.
This man is having other people squish his head with their bare feet.
No. It wasn't that he had people squish his head. It was the other way around.
He's been squishing somebody's head with his bare feet.
Because no, I don't think it was his bare feet. This crazy girl wanted it. Like, she was begging him for some kinky shit like that.
Damn.
We have really gone off the deep end already.
We really have. How many minutes are we in?
It's been like a minute.
This is my introduction.
Oh my God. No. So we visited, Corey and I, when we drove from New York to LA, we stopped by at Karini's in Indiana. And then we were like, we had a great time, but we were like, how the fuck is Karini still living? How have you been able to do this?
Great question. I do not know. I don't know. I feel
it's not that the town is. Tell us a little more about the town, though.
Yeah, so it's not bad. So I live near Purdue University. It's like 200,000 residents. So it's not like you're in the middle of nowhere, and it's a Big Ten college town. It's really just like the vibe is very Midwest, very conservative, and kind of, I don't know. Just the vibe. It's really the vibe. That's really it.
The vibes are off.
The vibes are off, man.
No, I don't want people to get the idea that, like, I lived in the Midwest. I love the Midwest. Like, my experience in Kansas City was super awesome. I always recommend it. I think the Midwest has so many awesome people. I don't have an issue with that.
Do you, though?
No, I have a little bit of an issue. Obviously, it's a little scary sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, like, Corey and I had issues driving cross country when we were just like, oh my God, there's nobody. Everybody's white in this section. Mm-hmm. Everybody's white over here. And it's not that, like, I'm afraid. I'm just a little bit apprehensive when I don't see people of color around me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And I think that's definitely a big thing about Indiana in general, is that it's not really diverse. But then to add to that, I don't really like the Midwestern nice. I think it's fake. Like, I think it's fake as hell. Okay. And I'm not here for it. You know, like, nice does not equal good. And this, like, people that are like Midwest nice, I just find it to be kind of like fake and deceitful, especially as a person who grew up in New York City, where like I would much rather someone curse me out and tell me how they feel than like pretend that everything is okay and then just be like fake AF.
I agree. I completely agree. I also think, I think being like, for you being like a woman of color in Indiana, in the area that you live, and also being like educated, having like a good job, pretty much like doing a lot for
I got smarts.
Right. And I think that that's a little bit intimidating for certain people.
For sure, yeah.
Would you agree? Like, I feel like I
yeah.
got like a little sense from your neighbors, the one neighbor, not the other ones, they were nice, but the one neighbors that I was just like, I don't think that they really feel comfortable.
Probably not. I mean, honestly, for me, it's more of like when I'm at work, if I can be a little bit more honest. And I wouldn't say it's like my immediate team. Like I have a pretty good immediate team, but it's like I am a young Latina who's outspoken and has direction.
Yeah.
Right. And that intimidates the crap out of some people.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So like my immediate team is awesome, but like as soon as I step outside of my immediate team, you can tell that there's that like resistance and kind of like pushback, you know, just I don't know, it's diminutive in a way.
Do you think you have to like you have to work a little harder to prove yourself?
I think in some instances I do. I also think that I have to play this game and I have to speak in a certain way and like treat people in a certain way where like if I was a dude, I don't know if I'd be getting the same kind of pushback. If I was some white dude from Indiana, I don't think I would be getting any kind of pushback in the same capacity.
Sure. No, so that's interesting. So you're thinking about after the end of next spring.
Yeah, the academic year. So at the end of this academic year, we're bouncing.
You don't know where you're going yet.
No.
And I keep telling this bitch, come to LA, bitch. You would love it. You would really love it. I believe that you would love it. So quarantining, obviously. So in this podcast, we obviously talk about a lot about relationships, you know. You
I've never heard of those.
What is that? What exactly is that?
No idea.
You're one of my few friends that is actually married.
Yes.
That's like, I know a lot of people do that, but I just, maybe it's because of who my group of friends are, or like, I don't know what it is, but there's not that many of my friends that are actually married. I don't think for you say for your group of friends. What am I speaking right now? This is weird.
Well, I mean, like, well, if you look at like demographic shifts in the US, millennials aren't getting married. They're not settling down at the same rates as other generations, right? So it is kind of abnormal for someone to be married and young.
Right. But you got married when you were like 25?
25, yeah, 25.
Right. So you've been married now for 4 years.
Yeah, we're going on 4 years. December 22nd.
Wow. What are some of the challenges that you feel like that somebody like me who's like, I'm in a relationship but I'm not married, or somebody who's single, and everyone's going through a lot of difficult times right now. That's just a given. Everyone's going through hardship. But what are some of, you would say, the very unique challenges that somebody that's married going through quarantine, like that they have to go through, that's different from other people?
Yeah. So I don't know if I can like generalize all married couples in one.
Sure.
Like, yeah. But what I will say is that like for me, at least before COVID, I traveled a lot, actually. Like my job was predominantly travel. I traveled at least over 100 days out of the year for work alone. And then on top of that, I would also travel for pleasure. I would take the whole month of June off and travel throughout the world. So I was gone the majority of the year. And then with COVID, I remember I was just returning back from flying from DC. And then I came back, and immediately that week, like I was grounded and I wasn't flying anymore. I wasn't doing anything that I had been doing anymore. I also like experienced a lot of setbacks because a lot of the professional things that I was doing were also canceled as well. So I think for me, like COVID and marriage came also with me actually being home.
Yeah.
Something that I really was not very often. Like, come to think of it now, I probably spent more time traveling and doing stuff outside of my home than I was even at home. So for me, in many ways, it was like getting reacclimated to being home and being with this person in many ways.
Because you were used to like having that break, you know?
Yeah, I was always
And
gone.
right. And like as much as people that are married obviously are a unit in some way, you're still an individual with individual needs, individual drives, individual passions, individual things that you want to accomplish. And then COVID just basically forces all those things to coexist simultaneously under one roof all the time.
For sure. For sure. And I think on top of that, like you're coupling the stress that Steven's feeling. He's in a PhD program and he's about to finish his doctorate. And there's a lot of stress that comes with writing a dissertation, being published, applying for academic jobs like professor jobs and shit like that. Can I curse on here? I don't
Of
know. What
course
can
you can. This is so fucking explicit. It's not even funny. It's way too explicit, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's really fucking stressful. So like there's that adding all this element to it and then just being stuck at home with this person. Yeah.
Do you feel like, what would you say like is the main source of, because I know where my conflicts are in my relationship. I don't know about you, but like I just feel like I have a sense of like if things don't go exactly how I planned them in my head for them to go, if I lose control, then I like something happens that I just like
you snap. She goes crazy.
I snap a little bit. I snap a little bit, and it's tough because then you end up, when you're single, you just put that on yourself. When you're in a relationship, you put that on the other person. And because not only do you have to control that. Yeah, not only do you have to control yourself, but then you almost have to like, whatever happens with the other person affects you, so you want to control the other person's stuff too, in a way, and you can't do that. Like you just can't.
No.
So for me, it's like when things don't go my way, the way that they're supposed to go, then I start to get cranky and I start to get control-y with my person.
Yeah.
And I think like there's days during COVID, like last night, I literally like, I cried. Like Corey and I had, because I don't know, Corey and I had a great day, but something, I'm not gonna lie, social media affects the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I saw something on social media that made me feel inadequate.
Oh no.
And then the insecurity started to come in and all the mental gymnastics and all that, like the world's like fucking falling apart. Oh my God, your goals, like you won't be able to accomplish your goals. Like, oh my God, you're falling behind. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I got overwhelmed and I just like needed to cry.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you gotta get
I
that shit out.
know. I know. And like, it's nice to have somebody that's like totally open for me to do that. I've been in relationships in which I had to hide those things because
That's
I
horrible.
felt, yeah, because I felt like it was too much. Like if I was too emotional, then I was being too irrational. You know what I mean? So I didn't want the other person to like deal with that. But then in turn, that would make me feel resentful because I felt like I wasn't being my genuine self with that person. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, which is like paramount to any good relationship.
Right.
Romantic or otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with Corey, it's like he allows me the space to be able to like explore those emotions, and like instead of taking it out on him, I can just release, and I don't have to unload that stuff on him. Do you feel like there's more of that unloading happening during COVID on the other person because you can't escape them?
Maybe. I'm trying to think. So you know what's really interesting is I feel like our gender roles are kind of reversed. I am really kind of scrappy, resourceful. I take my feelings and I put them in a little box and I store them away in
You
the
are like
closet.
that.
I really am. And I'm just like, yo, I got to get shit done. Like stuff's got to be sorted and figured out. And I'm the person who's got to sort that shit and figure it out. Right. So I don't have time to deal with this. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't
No,
know
but that's funny
why.
because I know you're like that.
And I'm a Scorpio. So technically I'm a water sign. Listen, and my ascendant is a Pisces. So I'm water, but baby,
Ooh.
where are the emotions? Why are they not flowing?
I mean, I don't know because Scorpios and Pisces are, I mean, I'm a Pisces, my mom's a Scorpio, very emotional
I think I
signs.
just bottle it up though, for real. I just store it in there somewhere. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is
I store it in there somewhere. It comes out, whatever.
Yeah,
I lash out. It's fine.
No, I feel like, I mean, also Steven's got a lot going on. Like I said, PhD programs, they're intense. They're a lot. So I definitely feel like he's definitely needing to do a lot of unloading in many different ways. My therapist, wonderful therapist. She's like, you have to let people in, Kariti. Like you gotta let them in.
Are you doing individual therapy?
We're doing couples
therapy.
Yeah.
And what is that like?
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
So we get together and we put Steve in a corner and we beat him up, but we have to make sure we wear face masks first because it's COVID.
Shut up. You're in Zoom.
I know, it is a Zoom call.
We just gang up on him and we tell him how bad he's doing and how much of himself he needs to fundamentally change.
Yeah.
And he leaves the room and we have a little cocktail and that's
it's really great.
End of it.
It's wonderful. You know, nothing I have to do. I don't have to work on myself. You know, I'm a perfect human.
Pretty much your therapist opens up the conversation basically asking, so Steven, what have you changed about yourself this week?
Exactly.
How have you been accommodating Karini more lately?
Exactly. That is.
Oh my God.
That's the conversation. That's it.
I know a lot of people that are doing therapy during COVID. A lot of individual and a lot of like couples therapy.
It's great. It's really great.
I haven't done therapy, maybe because this podcast apparently has served that purpose.
Everyone's just here listening to you having your therapy sessions.
Girl, like the last one I did when I talked about an octopus for a hot 20 minutes. That was me using this podcast as therapy. Like I was in a dark place when I did that podcast. But the thing is, like, I was listening to it back and I was just like, there was a lot of funny stuff that I was saying mixed in with deep sadness. So it was just like, in a way, it is like my therapy. I don't know. I always found therapy very helpful for me.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great.
I don't know. I think like I posted this like this week on Instagram. I was just like, I think right now it's all about self-preservation, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. I've actually been talking about self-preservation with Steven.
Yeah.
Because I firmly believe this man has a very high sense of self-preservation.
What does that mean exactly?
I don't know. He just doesn't want to get COVID. So.
Oh! He's got Coco self-preservation.
Yes, he does.
Damn. So he's like real afraid.
I mean, it's not that he's afraid. It's just like, why would you put yourself through it if you could just avoid it? Right. Which makes perfect sense to me.
No,
you know, like you're not going to find me like clubbing. Like that's just.
Can you even, is Indiana open kind of?
Indiana's clubbing. I'm just kidding. It wouldn't surprise me though. These people out here, they're crazy.
Well, I mean, even here in LA, like things are not open at all. It's like New York and LA are the most strict so far, but like people are still fucking going to house parties and they're doing whatever the fuck they want to do.
Indiana bars are still open.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
you can actually go inside.
You can go inside. You can do whatever you want.
So like, you don't have any mandates except for wearing a mask when you go
listen, we don't, our mask mandate is not even a mandate. Like if you show up to the grocery store, for example, without a mask, no one can do anything to you. No, the police can't come give you a ticket. No one's going to fine you. No one cares.
Oh, that's fun.
It's horrible. Okay, listen, I have become the good version of Karen, as I call myself. I'm Karini. And
is there a good version of Karen though?
There is. There is. Okay. Do you want to hear?
Okay, go.
So this is in October, actually. I went to go vote. You can vote early in Indiana.
Yeah.
I went to go vote and I went to cast my ballot. And I'm walking around the fucking place and these motherfuckers not wearing masks. If they are wearing a mask, they take off their mask to talk to people in a confined space, in a confined room that's jam-packed with a bunch of people. This dumbass lady, probably like 70-year-old lady, is walking around with no mask and a face shield because she thinks the face shield is going to do the job of a mask. So I, Karini, sent an email to the health department, the Tippecanoe Health Department.
And I was like, you asked to speak to the manager.
Did I ask to speak to the manager? So I emailed the Tippecanoe County Health Department and I was like, hey, listen, this is dangerous. Like, and think about it. It is actually dangerous. It was the first day that early voting started on October 6th. And there are hundreds of thousands of people that vote here in Tippecanoe County. And if they would have just kept doing this throughout the season, like think about how dangerous that could be for the population here, period. You know, I mean, it's kind of serious. So I did ask to speak to the manager, AKA the health department.
Well, if they don't, imagine me, I have to wear a mask for like 6 to 7 hours when I go to work.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And like, I don't have to wear a shield because I don't serve the tables, but if you're serving tables, you have to wear a shield. And that fucking sucks. So, I mean, it's just like anything else, you get used to it. But I mean, this is a tough situation. We're in a very tough time. I think we all have to we have to give each other credit for how we're just handling it, to be just surviving it. Like it is about self-preservation right now. But you know, when you're in a relationship, it's not just about you. Why are you laughing? Why are you? She's fucking laughing, guys.
That transition,
she's like,
bro.
But it is about
Did you
me.
see? No, did you see how slick that transition was? You know, yeah. So self-preservation, COVID, and then she just goes, "Bam!" That was like butter, girl.
I'm trying.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
I'm trying.
Proud of you.
Yo, I'm trying to do
proud.
this like podcast situation. Like
I'm proud.
I actually like whatever. Point being that it's I'm having a hard time being like, okay, just be thankful and like just be thankful that you have a job.
Yeah.
That you have a roof over your head.
Exactly.
That you have people in your life that haven't died, are not in the hospital.
Yeah.
Those are huge things that a lot of people can easily take for granted during these times because we're focusing on like for me, it's like my career is definitely not moving the way that I thought it was going to be moving at this point earlier this year. I thought 2020 was my fucking year. Like I was
I thought 2020 was my year too. Everybody thought 2020
everyone was just like, oh, it's so perfect. It's 2020.
Do you want to know something crazy, Miriam? So this was supposed to be my 2020 as I had already planned it. Like I've been doing a lot of like government work stuff. March, that the last trip that I did before we got shut down was like my first like national advocacy trip. So I was doing like advocacy work at the federal government level.
Okay.
And then later that March, I was supposed to be a keynote speaker for a conference in Texas. And like my shit was taking off. And then fucking 2020 just like, I don't know, maybe it's, you know what, maybe it's a good thing. I'm thinking about a career change anyway. So.
Well, I think like, if anything, this definitely made everybody sort of rethink where they were in life. And
yeah, for sure.
Like even relationships, people were just like, either I know a lot of people that moved in with each other because of rent, because they were trying to save money. They jumped into relationships really quickly because they didn't want to be alone. And then people that were like, oh fuck, I think we're fucking breaking up.
Dude, I mean, we were sort of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, we were really coming from very different places at the beginning of quarantine. It was really
Right.
hard. You know,
But do you think it's because you guys were in your routine, and then all of a sudden stop, forces you to be in the same space, and now issues that you might have had that you were distracting each other from, you have to confront them?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, like there were just issues that I don't know. Why talk about them if I'm going to be on a plane in 2 days? Right? What does it matter?
Why create that situation? Why? But in my experience, when you don't talk about those issues, they come back full
Yep.
throttle.
Full throttle,
And
middle of quarantine or beginning of
well,
quarantine.
for me, it's like, oh, we never fight. Oh, we just broke up over a broken something. Yep. That's what happens. You don't fight, and then you have the tiniest issue, and then all of it comes out because you've been suppressing everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I on the topic of relationships, because we're always on that topic on this podcast.
This is that podcast.
We never leave.
No.
You will never leave this room. I have a little bit of a discussion topic came up with a friend of mine.
Go for it.
And I think this is good for us to talk about, because I feel like we became friends when we were 18, right? So it's been like a little bit over 10 years now that we've been friends. That's fucking insanity, by the way.
We're old.
Yep, we're getting there. Getting up there. And I know that we made mistakes when we were in college.
I would call them teachable moments.
I would call them shit shows. Fucking shit shows.
By the way, quick interruption. I just saw on Facebook that we had a little memory together, you and me.
We did?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's that picture that it was like you, me, Candace, and Sarah. We're taking a picture all in like Stein 308 in our dorm room, like mine and Sarah's dorm room, on my really old HP computer that had those like really bad graphics, and it had
oh my god, is it like the selfie? It was like selfies. Oh my god.
Yeah,
those are 11 still years out ago. There, huh?
Those are still out there.
Oh god,
it's a danger to society. Yeah, that's a danger to your career.
Oh my god, I've seen some of those college pictures. I thought I was cute freshman year.
No,
who the fuck?
No, I'm like, every time I look, I cringe. I'm like, ugh.
I was like, because I remember being cute in high school, and then that first year of college, I certainly gained 15 pounds.
Oh, I feel like we all did.
Oh my god, we were drinking and eating so much. Okay, back to the
those
point.
servo cookies and
we
those
lived
natty.
Right in front, guys. We lived in front of our like dining hall.
Yeah,
it took less than a minute to go from my room into the best fucking food.
And it was all you can eat, like totally unlimited at all times.
And amazing. And it was actually good food. It was crazy. Oh.
It was wild. Okay, anyways, back to the
point
good
being,
good old Gettysburg College, putting a plug in there.
Gettysburg, we love you. You know,
love you.
PA, we proud of you for what you've done in the last couple weeks.
Thank you, PA.
Thanks. But yeah, so we made mistakes. Stupid shit happened. We got fucked up a lot.
Oh my god.
I recently, this week, a friend of mine told me a story.
Okay.
And it kind of, I don't know why it hit a chord with me.
Okay. Is this gonna be a multiple choice question at the end of the day?
It's not a multiple choice. No, it's not. It's just like, basically my friend told me that one time when he was I guess like 19.
Them hoeing years.
The hoeing years. But I guess he wasn't hoeing because he was in a relationship for like a couple years. Okay. Like first love kind of thing, right? And he basically broke up with his girlfriend for some reason or another. 2 weeks later, he goes to this party and he walks in to one of his best friends' fucking his ex-girl.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So one of his best friends, he was blackout drunk, right? And the girl did it on purpose. She like basically seems like she coerced him because she was trying to get back at my friend for the breakup, I guess.
Do you think that other friend was lying that he was blackout drunk maybe, or like?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
these are guys. They know each other pretty well.
Okay.
So as far as I know, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was being very honest. They were in a party. They were like, you know, drunk boys. But this friend of mine forgave his friend for doing that. And they're still friends to this day. They're really close friends. Really, really close friends. Obviously time has passed. It's been years. When he told me this story, my insides kind of burst into like anger. Because I was like, I don't know if I could get past that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Especially if it's like your first love and it's like at the end of a relationship.
Like right after you break up with that person.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if like, how do you forget and forgive that?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's a couple of things that I'm thinking right now, right? So, sorry, little headphone slippage. So there are two things that I think about. I think one, like you could evaluate whether or not the relationship that you have with that other friend is more valuable than this like negative experience. Right? Like,
yeah.
And
that's taking the high road.
And if it's and it doesn't even have to be the high road. It has to be something like a cost benefit analysis. Like if we want to be like as straightforward, like as possible cost benefit. And like, it doesn't even have to be the high road. It could just be like,
goddamn psycho, aren't you?
Listen, I'm in an MBA program. I'm all about calculating my return on investments.
Sure. So if the relationship, if it's going to give you more, if you're going to reap more benefits from keeping the relationship than letting go of the relationship, then you kind of have to forgive. Not forget, because I don't think you can forget.
No. Like, I'm sure, like, this friend probably won't let, their current partner. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But, like.
No, what are you trying to say? What is that? What? Finish your thought. What was that?
I don't know. I just feel like, for example, friend A is like the original friend that was dating the girl, and then friend B is going to be the girl that the guy, whatever. But I don't think friend A would probably maybe be as trusting or as flexible with like, their future partners and friend B, or I don't know. Or maybe that person would tell like their current SOs or like SOs in the future so that like they know. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. It's a little confusing, but I know what you're saying. I mean, there's going to be lack of trust in both parties. Because this is what I think about cheaters. It's like, you know how like when apparently like when you cheat, you kind of project that on the other person. So like, because you've done something bad, you assume that person is doing something bad too, because you did it and you hid it and you were successful in hiding it.
Yeah.
So you assume that other people are doing exactly the same thing you are.
Exactly.
So not only is cheating or breaking of trust or lying like fucked up for the other person because, they feel lied to or they feel betrayed, but also it fucks you up because you lose trust in other people because of what you've done.
Thank you.
Right. So like,
can you be my permanent translator?
Yeah.
I need to bring you with me to places.
I have like no skills, but like people is the only thing I understand. I have to stop saying that I have no skills. It makes me sound like a fucking asshole. But no, but like, yeah. So like, I think it fucks both parties up.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay. But if this was like girls doing this to each other, do you think they'd still be friends?
Oh, absolutely fucking not.
Not. That's what I'm saying, bro. not.
Dude,
women
okay.
don't fuck with that. We don't fuck with that.
Okay, real quick.
We don't like each other that much.
I'm going to point something out that I don't know if you'll remember this or not, but like my first love, if you will, who for all intents and purposes, that relationship was a terrible mess. And that could be a podcast all on its own. Like all the
what
things
are we talking about?
Learned about her relationship in college.
Oh, your college relationship.
Yeah, that was a hot mess express. Yes. And that can be its own separate podcast called the Hot Mess Express Garini Edition.
I mean, but I can be part of that too. My shit was messy as fuck.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that apparently before I had started dating this person, another one of a previous mutual friend that you and I had. Do you know who I'm talking about? I'm looking at you at the camera right now, your face. You know who I'm talking about?
Yes. No?
No? Okay. She apparently said that she had called him, had dibs on him.
Oh, I fucking hate dibs, bro.
Yeah. And I didn't know this. I swear to God, I did not know that this was like a thing, that there were any dibs placed on a gentleman, which, whatever.
Yes. I remember this.
From there, I feel like that sowed a lot of like negative sentiment. Yes. Even though I don't even remember her calling dibs on this person. I don't think you do either, or Sarah or anybody else. But like that really did cause a dent in our relationship for pretty much the rest of our years in college and even afterwards.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah. And can I tell you something about that bullshit dibs?
Tell me something about that bullshit dibs.
That shit is fucking dumb, bro. Look, you cannot. Guys do it too. Girls do it. Yo, I'm getting passionate about this because in college, this happened to me too. Bitches would get mad at me. Yes.
Who? Okay.
Guys, we're doing the eyes right now. You can't see it.
You can't
we're
see
talking
it.
in eyes. We're talking in eyes right now.
And we know.
Okay, first of all, you cannot call dibs for years and not ever put the moves on someone.
You really can't.
You can't call dibs on every person you find attractive, so your fucking other friends can't fucking have them.
Exactly.
Or if that guy, in my experience, if the guy that the girl is calling dibs on actually likes me.
Exactly.
And you've known this person, you've had 3 fucking years to do something about it and you never have. You don't get to call dibs for years. You just you don't get to do that. Like
what if we make dibs like a 10-day thing? Right?
Like where you get,
I'm
so passionate.
I'm yelling too. Yeah,
oh
I'm
God,
so close to this microphone.
Bro.
It's the closest I've ever been to a microphone. Okay, what if we make a new rule? Like people can call dibs on a 10-day period. You got 10 days to make your moves. Like 10 full days.
There has to be a fucking limit on
and
these
that's
dibs.
it. And after 10 days, dibs expires.
Like, especially like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're in college. Everyone's like young and hot. Like
everyone's trying to do their own thing.
We're all trying to get it in a little bit.
Trying to explore each other's bodies.
Our sexuality, our bodies.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. Like, yeah. No, so I get what you're saying. Like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I was going to say. Like, I remember like people getting upset with me because eventually we went to a very small school. We made the rounds, bitches. There were rounds to be made. There wasn't that many people. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually, come senior year, end of the year, of course, we had a little overlap. It wasn't even that bad. The specific scenario that I'm talking about, I never even had sex with this person.
I'm like trying to think about.
I'll tell you. Whatever.
I think
that's
I know.
what I'm saying. You don't get to be upset with me if I've never even had sex with this person.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you can't. You can't get upset with me.
You really can't. You can't. You really can't.
But I think that there's definitely a difference between men and women when it comes to that.
There are, for sure.
Like a girl will never forgive that. A girl will never forgive that.
No. And if she tells you that she does, she's lying.
She's fucking lying.
It's a damn lie.
Planning your demise.
Trap. Yeah, she is.
She's planning your fucking demise.
You're about to be murdered in 10 days because that's the new period that I've established. 10 days for dibs, 10 days for murder.
You've got 10 days.
You've got 10 days.
She's like, why do I keep getting these calls every day? Just like, you got 7 days left. It's like, 7 days left of what? Life, bitch. You're about to die. No, but for real. No, this is the other thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
How fucking difficult is it to make female friends after a certain age?
I don't know. See, here's the thing is like, I feel like my life has been so different because in many ways, we've been in grad school for years now because Steven has been in his PhD program. And I came out to Indiana for him for his PhD program, and I started doing my own master's along the way. But we have basically been in grad school for 5-6 years at this point.
But do you still make friends in some way, right?
Yeah. And
but it's harder.
I see, that's the thing is like, I've been in grad school. I feel like it's been easy. It hasn't been that hard for me. I'm probably going to eat my words in a couple of months when I
it's
leave
easier
Indiana.
when you're in school. It's just easier when you're in school. And the thing is like, Corey and I, the last week, we've been having this fucking discussion that I'm tired of having. But I guess like in a way I bring it up. I didn't have as hard of a time in New York making friends. I'm having a very difficult time here making friends. Also COVID. So I can't really go out. So it makes it even harder. But I find it that it's just like, I have a low tolerance for like flakiness. I can't handle flaky people.
I mean, I'm going to throw Sarah under the bus right now because she's not going to be listening to this.
Oh, she really isn't.
She really isn't. But let's throw Sarah under the bus. I love you, Sarah. I love you.
I love you too, Sarah.
Yeah.
But how dare you not listen to my podcast?
Yeah,
How
but it's also because we know that, do you remember how long we used to wait for Sarah to get ready or to do anything?
God. Yeah. She would lie to us all the time. She would lie all the time. I'm almost there. No, she wasn't.
She wasn't. She was still in her bed.
Down. She was in bed half the time.
Dude, I was her roommate my whole during freshman year, and I just remember like you'll be like, "Oh, let's go to Servo." Like I'm at Servo, and she would still be in bed, just like laying down.
Or whenever we were about to go out, like,
oh my god,
you guys would be like, "Okay, we'll be ready in an hour," and I would get all fucking ready, go to your dorm, and I would sit there for 2 extra hours. Waiting for Sarah to just literally slowly go around the room eating crackers, trying to choose something to wear. And I'd be like, bitch, my makeup's running.
But Miriam, we did give you shots of Vladdy. There were shots of Vladdy in
yes, thanks for traumatizing me at least.
You're welcome.
Thank you for not being able to smell vodka for the rest of my days.
Dude, this was actually vodka. I've gotten over my vodka.
Actually, I do drink gimlets. Like I do drink like martinis now.
See,
so, but I can't take shots of it.
Yeah, shots are no.
No, but for real, flaky friends. Like I'm just like, I hate the fact that like my girlfriends, like you, Sarah, like girlfriends that I have in New York and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I hate that you guys aren't here because I'm just like, fuck, it's so fucking hard to find specifically women that you connect with, and that there isn't this whole like ulterior motive or sort of like secret hatred.
Yeah.
It's hard. Women are hard. It's difficult to make really good women friends.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like I really don't know what that's like because we've been at Purdue for all these years.
Yeah.
But I think next year after I'm done here, I think that's probably going to be my experience. I've been really fortunate here at Purdue. Like I've made good girlfriends even in my own workplace, like in my own office. I've made good girlfriends in different offices and departments. I've made good girlfriends with, people that are also getting PhDs at Purdue, Stephen's cohort. And then some of their girlfriends have also become my girlfriends. My upstairs neighbor and we get along super well. Like we're 2 couples that live in a duplex.
Yeah.
So I get along super well with Abby. And before COVID, we used to do girls' nights. Like we all used to come over. I used to do charcuterie boards, wine. We used to do our nails and like hang out and talk and just have a great time.
Maybe I'm the problem. No, it's I don't know what it is.
I'm in a college town.
I was bullied. I was bullied when I was in high school. And I was bullied in college.
In college.
I was bullied in college.
You were definitely bullied in college. Like a lot of the choices that you made were really questioned and, attacked harshly.
Yeah. And And I think I've been slowly realizing now as an older person now that I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm very like protective of myself with women because of how I was treated by women in high school and college, and how I have a hard time trusting women because I always feel like they don't have their best interest at heart with me, like, you know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've had to make myself smaller around women when I was younger to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
I think a lot, I mean, I don't know about high school because I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but like I think college wise, well, we can sort of yeah. Mm-hmm.
We know who did what.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But that's why like I like Corey will be like, you need to be a little bit more forgiving with people. And I'm just like, I have this thing with loyalty. It's like I don't allow people the opportunity to fuck me over twice ever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I feel like I lost that sort of trust in people. So when people are regularly flaky, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But with me, it's a big deal because I feel like I'm so sort of loyal to my friends. And I feel like if I don't get this exactly the same thing in return, I feel like betrayed.
It's because Sarah traumatized you.
I think all of you did. I'm kidding. But like, I don't know. In New York, I found girlfriends in New York, and I didn't have an issue connecting with women, but it couldn't be a pack of women, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's always like I connect with like one girl in one group, and then I connect with another girl in another group, and then I hang out with those people individually, but I can't, it's hard for me to bring all those women together and for me to feel, I don't know why. Or like if the one friend that I have invites me to hang out with her and her other girlfriends, then I start going into that same place again of no, make yourself small. Make yourself small. Don't be too loud. Don't be your regular like open like kind of like loud self, whatever, because you don't know, they're gonna judge you or they're gonna hate on you.
Yeah, well then fuck that. Fuck it. I feel like
no, I know. I've learned to just say fuck it, but I notice it now as an older adult that when I go into like situations in which there's more than one woman, I will be in the corner with the men, and I feel very comfortable there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'll be very very comfortable there. And then as soon as the girls go to do whatever the girls are doing, then I don't know how to enter that realm. It's like
I will
very
say
weird.
You know what's really interesting, Miriam? What I will say is like about me in general, and maybe this is why I don't have as much of an issue with like guys or girls. It's like there is a very thick exterior to me. And I feel like very people get past that, right? So for me, like
are you talking about your ass? What's happening?
Well, you know she's thick, baby girl.
Baby she's thick.
I've been doing them squats. But no, like I definitely have like a very thick exterior, and a lot of the ways that I like don't let people in is by being a very gregarious presentation of self, like just being super, loud and bubbly, and like I project that outwards so that there's no time to get in here, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, I've learned therapy. Yeah, but I think that's part of the reason why I usually don't struggle in like groups of women, groups of men, or like general groups in general, but people very rarely get to know me, like I can think of few people who like know the shit, the real shit that's gone on in my life and in my experiences, and who have been, in that core. But for most of my interactions, especially like more general interactions, like there's definitely that like projection of I don't know how to explain it, but
I mean, it sounds like self-preservation.
It's self-preservation, baby girl. After
yeah.
trauma.
Yeah. It's just it's weird. It's just like I've always felt just much more comfortable with men. Like with men in, I don't know. I just like, I think like in college that was like the most pack group of girls that I ever hung out with in that way. And that proved to, you know, not be the best at all.
No.
I mean,
I definitely towards like senior year, I had that whole mess of a relationship. That was a big factor in a lot of things too. So another podcast for another time.
Another time. But I mean, but you, Sarah and I, like, I always got along great with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, and the three of us,
I feel like we're a good little tripod.
Right. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just white women. Maybe I just don't like them. I'm kidding.
Maybe. Or Latinas that identify too much with their whiteness.
I don't know. I just feel like with you and Sarah, I just felt like we really understood each other on a very fundamental level.
Yeah.
And we had like a lot of similarities of upbringing, I feel.
So yeah, like, I think that was a big thing too.
Probably what it is, you know?
Our upbringings had like a lot of overlap. And that's one of those things where it's just like, those were things that we shared with each other. We let each other in very special ways that we didn't let other people in.
Right. And I think when you do that, then when the facade comes about and you start seeing the other sides of the person, you go, oh, I don't like that about Miriam, but I understand where that's coming from. So I can accept this much more than if I'm just dealing with your bullshit and I don't know anything about you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, if I'm dealing with your bullshit and I don't know where it's coming from, then you can go fuck off. I don't have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
That is so true. That is
right. So I feel like maybe that's what it is, that like, I think I'm very tolerant of people when I know exactly where they're coming from. But if I don't know where the fuck they're coming from, I don't take their shit. And it's hard for me to like pretend like I can just handle it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But in general, I mean, most of the people that we went to school with didn't have those kind of experiences that we had. You know,
well, we wouldn't know, would we? Because they never opened up that much.
No. But like we've been to some of these people's houses.
Yeah, but I also feel like what somebody has or doesn't have doesn't necessarily mean that their upbringing is, you know, people hide shit. Like
That's true. And just for the record, like we went to a school that was like super rich and like you know, we were not
the 1%ers over there.
Yeah, we were not going to Loomis Sheffy or whatever the fuck other private boarding schools.
BMWs being driven by 18-year-olds. Like,
how the fuck is
insanity? I didn't think I realized how crazy that was until like now. I'm like, what the fuck? 18-year-olds were driving those cars? That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I went to Laguna Beach yesterday with Corey and like Orange County, super rich, like crazy. And you see like fucking these teenage girls driving Teslas. And I'm just like, I could never understand that.
I could never understand that either. And if I had a kid, no matter how much money I had, I would not buy them a car like that. Do you remember? This is supposed to be about marriage, but we've gone off the rails right now, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Do you remember when what's her face had like a brand new like car, totaled it because she was so fucked up, and her parents went and got her a new car like within a couple of weeks.
I don't remember. Don't say the names.
I won't say the name.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like very Gettysburg. Sounds very normal.
Yeah. No, well, I'll tell you later. I won't say the name, but I was in shock. Like I grew up like in New York City. Like my parents were not like wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. I took the train to school every fucking day. Yep. I didn't even have a fucking license because I didn't need it. But even if I did have a license, which I eventually got my license when I was in college, I didn't have a car until I bought my own car. And I bought myself a little Toyota Corolla.
That was my first car. And it was passed down by my fucking parents. And that shit was old as fuck.
Yeah, dude, I had an old one too.
It would break down all the time.
Dude, my brother, his car, he got a Camry that was passed down onto him. His Camry was so fucked up.
Oh my God.
That like on the West Side Highway in New York City, he used to go to NYU. He was like driving down. That shit exploded into flames on the West Side Highway. It's very dangerous. Yo, apparently like he was saved by the grace of a stranger who was like flashing their lights at him behind him because there was smoke coming out behind the car.
I got into an accident because that's the car I had in grad school in Kansas City. I got into a fucking crazy accident driving from Kansas City, Missouri to New Mexico. I like lost control of the car. The car started spinning uncontrollably in the middle of the highway, and I got thrown into an ice bank off the road. Oh, I almost died. Like,
jeez,
legitimately almost died. Like, that little car was not equipped for what was happening to it. It was not. I don't know how I survived that, but I did. And now I'm a pretty safe driver, and now I have a car that I actually like a lot. But like, it's totally like everyone had different experiences in college.
Yeah, and
we had similar experiences.
You make a good point. Like, we also don't know because we didn't let people in the same way that we let each other in, right?
We also know people in college that had everything, all of the riches, and ended up being really fucked up.
Oh my God.
Like, we know that. So it's not like everybody just has it together just because they have money. It's just like they're just hiding it very well until something happens, and then you're like, oh, yeah.
One last thing about cars. One last thing. Do you remember the time that you were at my house and we were going to a party in Manhattan and you were driving down the highway?
Stop.
But I did not know that you had never driven down a highway before.
I had never driven on a highway, and I had never parallel parked, and I decided to drive into New York City on the goddamn highway and to park in the goddamn Bronx.
Yeah.
And that shit was the scariest experience of my life. And then I tell Karini, she's like, what?
Yo, Miriam was like, she was driving down. She's like, I got something to tell you, but I can't tell you right now. I was like, what do you mean you can't tell me right now?
Can't tell you right now.
Can't tell you right now.
I'm focusing way too hard on not having us die right now. Jesus.
Oh man. Car stories.
It's just hilarious.
It's a good one. It's a good one for the memory box.
We have, for anybody who's listening, if you've gone past this point.
Oh, so Sarah, are you here, Sarah?
If you're still here, this is like, we could do a podcast of just the crazy stuff that happened when we were living in Gettysburg. That would be another like 2 hours of crazy stories. But Karini,
yes, madame.
It's been hot.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's been a hot time. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this little podcast with me. I love talking to you. Like, you have good insight. Appreciate it. Not a fan of the fact that you're telling me that you're hiding your emotions a lot. I don't like that. Listen, we don't like that in Instant Gratification podcast.
I know. Yeah. Something I got to work on. Maybe the next therapy session you do on this, you bring me on.
You mean the podcast?
The podcast. Yeah. We talk about Karini opening up.
But thanks so much. Guys, I have an audition like that I have to turn in because everything's from home now. So I have to turn it in like the next couple hours. It's for voiceover stuff. So hopefully I'll be doing some more of that. So you can hear my voice in all mediums.
That's wonderful.
Amazing.
Very wonderful. It's exciting.
I love you. Thanks for doing this.
I love you too. Thanks for having me.
We'll have you on the podcast again. We had a little bit of issues figuring it out, but I think we got it now.
I think we got it. Yeah.
I think so. We'll see, because I'm recording, and then once I stop this conversation, hopefully I'll have a file of this conversation.
Yeah, I think you will. You'll be fine.
If not, then we just talked for like an hour, and
it was fun.
We just talked.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
We tend to do this anyways.
Yeah. Next time we do this, so we got to make sure you don't have an audition so you can have a drink. You can
I know, because I did want to drink a bit. But I'm gonna drink in like once I get it done, like 20 minutes. So it's super short. So
what time is it? I gotta get to class.
Oh, okay. Well, I love you.
Love you too.
Thank you guys for listening. Please register, subscribe, like, do all the things.
And everybody, please request me to come back on this podcast. I want to be the podcast number one, please invitee, guestie. Please DM me.
DM me and Karini. All right. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.